Alright, what's up, guys? So, I'm gonna be honest with you. For the longest amount of time, I could not stay consistent with damn near anything in my life. And I remember starting off strong when trying to build a new habit. Um, I would I would be putting the hours, the days out of my week to grow this thing and get this thing off the ground. And lo and behold, 2 weeks later, shit would just die out, and I would feel like an absolute loser every single time this happened. And I thought to myself that I just didn't have the discipline, or I wasn't cut out for any of this to begin with, and it hurt a lot. So I eventually doing one simple thing, and it changed literally everything in my life. Um, every habit I was trying to build became literally automatic. Not only that, it became easy, and it began to grow. So today I'm going to show you what exactly that one thing is and how you are able to use that today to finally build your habits. So I'm going to explain the problem super quick. And I'll use the example of like going to the gym. Super vague, but so for week one, you decide to go to the gym. You're putting in the days out of your week, eating right, everything's looking good. Week two rolls around, you are crushing it still, eating right, going to the gym 5 days a week, whatever. And week three rolls around, you're doing pretty good, but you get sore one day and you end up skipping, right? Nothing wrong with that. The problem starts when you skip the day after that because you're sick or you're tired, and maybe you go to the gym the day after that, but eventually you decide to get lazy and start skipping a bunch. And so this is the problem. You eventually spiral down into a snowball and you're back at square one, right back where you started. So my question is why? Why does this happen? And to put it short and sweet, you basically have no idea what you're actually doing. You think you're consistent, but you're not tracking anything, and you have a vague sense that you're doing pretty well, but you really don't have any data to back it up, right? So that's the problem. Your brain lies to you in believing that you are consistent by overestimating the good things that you're doing and underestimating, for example, how often you skip, right? So I'm going to be talking about exactly why tracking is so important for habit formation. And I have 3 points. So the first point is that you really cannot lie to yourself when you actually writing down or putting something in your phone to track something. So for example, if you're tracking how many calories you're eating, sorry, it's a motorcycle. If you're tracking how many calories you're eating on, say, a phone app, and you see that you're gorging down food and you're at 3,000 calories a day, plus, or 4,000 calories, let's say, and you're eating a whole bunch of food and you see that on your tracking, it encourages you to not eat more, right? So you see that visually and you cannot lie to yourself anymore. Number two is that it's honestly really satisfying to check that off of your list, like visually, and you get like instant dopamine when you see the big X on your whiteboard, for example, or your notebook. And it almost becomes addictive when that happens. And number three is that visual of you completing something honestly does pull you right back into doing that habit again. And it's a constant feedback loop that's super beneficial to you. And so another thing is I wanted to bring up from the big Alex Hormozy, and a quote that he had said was that you can't improve what you don't measure, and you can't measure what you can't track. So this was honestly super important to me, and especially in my business, as you can't like keep on throwing shit at the wall and hoping that it sticks. You need to track each single variable that you're putting in so that you can grow and get better at what you're doing, right? And so this is just one example from me that has worked really well in my life. And so I wanted to give you advice on how to start tracking yourself. And don't get me wrong, tracking your habits is super fucking boring and honestly seems like a waste of time at times, but trust me, it is super important in your long-term success. So the first way to make habit tracking as easy as and attractive as possible is first to just track one thing at a time. You don't need to go and track 10 different things. Just pick one. Keep it super simple. Step two is to pick the best method of tracking that works with you, because everyone is different at the end of the day. Like for me, example, I track everything in this notebook every single day. I write down a list of what I need to get done, put a box next to that thing, and check it off when it's done. And it's super rewarding. For you, it could be different. It could be an app that you use on your phone, whatever it may be. I just like writing stuff down. It's always how it's been, for me at least. And step three is to attach tracking to something you're already doing. Said differently, for example, I like to write down that list of what I need to get done every day before I actually start working. So I'll have my cup of coffee every morning, and I'll write down that list, and it helps me remember to track, which is the important thing. And step four is to make it visible for you. So I keep this notebook on my desk right here next to my keyboard, so that I can look at it every single morning and remember to do it. And so that's another thing. Keep it within your field of view, right? And step five is going to be start with a super small time frame. So just start with 7 days. You do not need to be overwhelmed by the big picture of tracking something for a month at a time or multiple months at a time. Just start with something small, like a week or a few days. And the last step is to literally just start now. Take action and start tracking immediately, because the sooner you do that, the sooner or the less likely you'll want to skip it, and the sooner you can get to your goals, right? It's just start now, start tracking immediately. And so, look, I know that it seems super simple, and almost too simple. And the truth is that it is simple to track your habits, and you don't need a whole bunch of complicated tracking tools, tracking apps. You need to stay super disciplined to do this. It's just, you just write it down one at a time, and it will benefit you so much in the long run. So yeah, guys, that's how tracking has helped me, and that hopefully you can do it as well. Because tracking, whenever you track something, it tends to always get done. Period. So yeah, that's what has helped me out throughout this last year, and hopefully can help you out. So yeah.